Welcome back, everyone. We're just going to go and record our Edge of Eternities reviews and feelings and thoughts, opinions, all that fun stuff. If you want to see me do it live, you can always go to my Twitch channel. But let's go and get into the cards. The first one is Uthros Titanic God Core. It is one of the one of the cards in the cycle of Mythic Rare Lands. They only did the blue and black one today. The other three we still haven't been officially released. But they enter tapped and add the color mana, and they're a planet. And then they have the station ability. The station ability is one of the new abilities that you can tap a target creature you control and put charge counters equal to its power onto whatever you're stationing, and you can only do that as a sorcery. That's my biggest downfall with station is that you can only do it as a sorcery. So you kind of have to go shields down on your turn if you really want to station. The station cost for this to go and get it to do anything more than just tapping for blue mana is tab 12. And then for that, it's blue and tapping it, and you get to add a blue for each artifact you control. This is a card that I think is going to be very bad in standard, but is going to see a lot of play in commander. Because that station ability in casual commander is going to be freaking nuts. And now the Blackland, Susor Secundi Void Altar. I didn't watch all of the preview streams, so hopefully I'm not butchering the pronunciation. So yet again, it taps for black. Yet again, it has to have 12 to station it. And then for 2 and tapping it, you pay 2 life, sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, activate only as a sorcery. Considering 2 mana and sacrificing a creature now gets you a card and a treasure, I don't really think that this rate of 2 mana and paying 2 life, which is actually really 3 because you're tapping the land, actually really is that bad. Because you could go and sacrifice your biggest creature that I have on board if you really need a dig, or even just something with 3 or 4 power gets you a lot of card advantage. So I really like this Blackland. Yet again, it's only good in casual commander because the station cost is kind of high. Then going to this common Worm Wall Sweeper. It is an artifact spacecraft. Most of the station abilities you'll see are going to be on spacecraft, because then once they're stationed, they do become creatures. When it enters, you surveil 2, and for once it's stationed for 4, it's a 2/2 flyer. I actually like this for limited a lot. It gives you card selection, and it's 2 mana. Sure, you need the crew cost. Well, the station cost is 4, which isn't too terribly high, but it could be a good limited card. Virulent Silencer. It's a 3 mana artifact creature robot assassin that's a 2/3. Whenever a non token artifact creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player gets 2 poison counters. This is the only card that cares about poison in the entire set. However, this card could be a lot of fun. If you have a go wide artifact deck, this deck could be a lot of fun. Granted, I don't think it's going to do anything in standard because I don't think artifact creatures are going to be good enough to go and get the poison through. Because we have Finn the Fangbearer right now that's legal in standard thanks to foundations, and Death Touch creatures really can't pull it off that well. So I don't think artifact creatures are going to be able to pull it off, considering the token artifact creatures that you make from Simulacrum Synthesizer are probably your best bet, and it only cares about non-tokens. Thrumming Hive Pool. It's a 6 mana artifact that has affinity for slivers. And slivers you control have double strike and haste. And affinity means that it costs 1 less for each of that type you control. So each sliver you control makes this cost 1 less. And slivers you control have double strike and haste. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to create 2 1/1 colorless silver creature tokens. If I'm not mistaken, this is also the only sliver card in the set. It's something that they're doing a lot of, that they're only giving one card type in the set. So I don't slivers aren't really making a comeback, but this could be a fun sliver card in Commander because very easy for this to be free. And it's harder to interact with than like The red and white Cloud Shredder Silver, that's it. That gives double strike and flying. This is harder to interact with than that. Infinite Guideline Station. It's a 5-color, 5-mana legendary artifact spacecraft. When it enters, you create a tap 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token for each multicolored permanent you control. The station ability is also 12, has flying, and whenever it attacks, draw a card for each multicolored permanent you control. And it's a 7/15. That so if you are able to build up a multicolored board state, it is very possible for the turn after this comes out for you to be able to station it. Also, it's very possible if you're playing Amulet of Vigor to do it on the same turn. I just don't think it's very good. I don't like it. It's a tough build around. And I don't think the payoff, I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. Because every time that your Infinite Guideline Station gets removed, you have to restation it. So I don't think it's worth it. Sir Vondum the Lucent, 2 white and 2 black. So for a total of 5 mana, it's a legendary creature human knight. That's a 4/4. Death Touch and Lifelink. Whenever it enters or attacks, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain Death Touch until end of turn. This is one of the signpost cards for draft, which it's pretty much telling you Orzhov is a go wide color for draft. It could be a fun build around. I think there's better cards. I think it's going to be really great in draft. I think it's too expensive for most other places. But I think it's going to be fun in draft to get that because a 4/4 Death Touch Lifelinker isn't nothing. Probably my favorite card that was spoiled. Singularity Rupture. 3, a blue, and 2 black for a sorcery that you destroy all creatures, then any number of target players each mill half their library, round it down. So it is a board wipe that lets you go and mill your opponents. I've been trying to pull off mono blue mill in standard. I haven't tried Azorius mill a little bit. But it looks like once Edge of Eternities comes out, Demir mill is what's really on the menu. And just like, look, that's the extent art. Look at this art. This art is probably my favorite. This is the buy a box promo art. Fantastic. I want this card so much that I'm probably going to go buy a box from LGS. Sammy Wildcat Captain is a 6-mana legendary creature, human artificer rogue. It's a mythic for a double strike vigilance 4/4, where spells you cast have affinity for artifacts. They cost 1 less to cast for each artifact you control. Okay, now this is busted. This is just dumb. The fact that it's 6 mana is what's slowing it down, because 6 mana in Boros is a little harder to get to because white only has catch-up ramp. It doesn't actually have ramp itself. But if you're playing this in Commander, you're playing it in an artifact deck, so you're going to be playing a lot of mana rocks, making it that it's not as big of a deal. But going and making it that any of your colorless spells are going to essentially end up being free, and then any of your colored spells are only going to cost their pipped mana, is insane. Cost reduction isn't fair. Trust me, I know. I play around with it all the time. But yeah, this card is dumb. Makes you want to build Boros artifacts. Extinguisher Battleship is an 8-mana artifact spacecraft. Has when this spacecraft enters, destroy target non-creature permanent, then the spacecraft deals 4 damage to each creature. Sorry, it was hard to read because, yeah, they shouldn't have continued the art behind the text box. They should have made the text box solid. Has the station ability to station this. It's 5, and it's a 10/10. Let's see. Yeah, this doesn't make it really any easy. This is a little easier to read, but then it doesn't have the rules text. And the reason why I picked the rules text is so that way you knew the rules. Um, you know, it is 8 mana. I have a feeling that there's going to be some big mana stuff happening. Uh, and I can see now why they banned Abuelo's Awakening. I still think Omniscience should have been banned, but you see why they banned Abuelo's Awakening as well. Bragost Deft Gastronaut. It's a lobster. It's a 2 mana Boros legendary creature, a lobster citizen. It is a 2/2 where artifacts you control are foods in addition to their other types and have 2 tap, sacrifice this artifact, and gain 3 life. For 1 and tap it, sacrifice a food. Ragos deals 3 damage to each opponent. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain life this turn, untap Ragos. My problem with this is that I don't like that the food is in Boros. Food has pretty much been proven through multiple sets to be primarily green, and then also be secondary in black and white. It hasn't really been in red or blue at all. That I feel like I understand that they are making the Boros creatures, the artifact creatures, but I feel like food shouldn't be Boros. It just doesn't feel right. I do love the art. I think the lobster looks awesome. Even the alternate art lobster, this looks awesome as well. He's throwing mushrooms. Um, I do like that for 1 and tapping it, you get to go and deal 3 damage to each opponent, so it's a lightning bolt on the body. Like, I like what the card does. I don't like the color identity of the card. Mutinous Massacre is 3, 2 black, 2 red for 7 mana. You get to choose odd or even. Destroy each creature with mana value of the chosen quality. They get control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them. They gain haste until end of turn. So this is a half board wipe / insurrection for 7 mana. This is just one of those big, dumb spells. Hey, Hearsay. Yeah, I'm just going over them. I saw some of them earlier, but I just wanted to review all of them. Yeah, this is just one of those big, dumb spells. I have to look. I have to get there to see. They might have. They do. Oh, that's one I forgot. They do have a revolt-like mechanic that I forgot that they brought out. I only darn it. I did a TikTok today, a short today, and I forgot to put that new mechanic in. That it's revolt light, and the reason why it's revolt light is because it only cares about non-land permanents. It doesn't include lands. I just think this card's fun. Mutinous Massacre. It's a fun card. Hey, Fuzi. The green did get some really dumb cards. The Eternity Elevator is a 5 mana spacecraft for a legendary artifact spacecraft. Tap it to add 3 mana. Its station cost is 20. Tap it and add X mana of any one color, where X is the number of charge counters on it. So you have to get it charged to 20. But then once you get it charged to 20, you're tapping it for 20 mana. It just seems excessive. And I'm also confused a little bit. Spacecraft. I thought they were supposed to become creatures when they were spacecraft. And this doesn't have any power toughness. The station cost needs to be wild. This is just like a dumb commander card. I think most of the station cards are dumb commander cards, which is fine. I love dumb commander cards. Gene Morph Imago is a blue and a green for an insect druid that's a 1/3 with flying and has landfall. Yes, they brought landfall back. Yay. I hate landfall so much. Whenever a land you control enters, target creature has base, power, and toughness 3/3 until end of turn. If you control 6 or more lands, that creature has base, power, and toughness 6/6 until end of turn. Important to note, it does say target creature, so you could go and target a creature other than Geomorph Imago. If you have 6 or more lands, if you have a 1/1 flyer, you can make it a 6/6. It's an okay card. It's a landfall card. It's 2 mana. If there's a landfall deck, I could see them playing this as a threat. Oh, see, I look at the cards above 3 mana because uh I like the fun that it brings a commander. A lot of them for standard, I need to see how they actually interact, and my standard isn't smart enough to make it work. The Endstone is 7 mana for a legendary artifact. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, your life total becomes half your starting life total rounded up. This is a fun card as well. If you're able to go and like make Boros artifacts work, this is like a finisher because you're just always refilling your hand by drawing a card no matter what you take out of it. I like it. What do the different arts look like? Oh, they did. They did return Japanese arts for this, like they did with Aether Drift. No, nothing in a landfall deck. Landfall, go away. Cosmogoyf is a green and a black for an elemental Lurgoyf. Ow. Speaking is hard. The creature's power is equal to the number of cards you own in exile, and its toughness is equal to that number plus 1. So it's a Lurgoyf that cares about exile instead of your graveyard. Hmm. So this is going to be played with Warp. Like, playing this with Warp makes it good. Abzan Ketramos is good too. The Warp ability is really good with this. Uh, because you cast things for their warp cost and then you stay in exile until you cast it for their full cost. So that's where I really think that this is going to shine, or like Abzan Ketramos. Warp seems like fun. Chrome Companion is the best art in the set. It's 2 mana for an artifact creature dog. That's a 2/1 that whenever it becomes tapped, you gain 2 life. And for 2 and tapping it, you put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. I could see this being played in limited, but I don't see it being played in most other places. I know Darth likes it for Grenzo, but other than that, it just has cute art. Except, why are they making all of the dogs corgis now? There are other dog types. Uh, all the cards that I'm going over are revealed. All the cards are not revealed yet. Today was the first day of spoiler season. There's going to be 2 weeks of spoilers, I believe. Next week, Ham has a preview card from the bonus sheet. Bygone Colossus is one of the busted warp cards. It's 9 mana for a 9/9 robot giant, and it's warp 3. I was so excited when they showed off this art because I thought this card was going to be a badass card. And then it's just a vanilla 9/9 that could warp for 3. Now, granted, you warp it, you crew the station, and you get 9 counters on your station. So that's nice. But otherwise, the art is better than the card. We are getting Sliver Overlord on the bonus sheet, yeah. Biotech Specialist is a red and a green insect scientist for a 1/3. When this creature enters, create a lander token, and whenever you sacrifice an artifact, this creature deals 2 damage to target opponent. I really like this card. I really like the lander cards. The lander effect. Because they're putting lander, well, they said that they're putting lander in all the colors, but it goes and it's 2 tap it and sacrificing it for a basic land card. So it's ramping every color as long as you're playing basics. And then that sacrifice an artifact just to shock players. It's fantastic. I will say, after listening to them talk on the after show with Weekly MTG, I am glad that they did not make this a set with double face cards, because originally they wanted to go and make the lander tokens operate like the Phyrexian tokens did in March of the Machines, right? Yeah. And just become a creature. Where how they came in as an artifact token and then you pay 2 to make them a creature. They wanted you to go and pay 2 to make it an artifact land that acted as a reflecting pool. I'm glad they didn't do that, because that would have been stupid. Them just going and getting a basic is much more fair. This card makes me sad. And it makes me sad because it's the only Eldrazi in the entire set. Anti-Casual Vestige. It's a 6-mana Eldrazi that's a 7/5. That when it leaves the battlefield, you draw a card, then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield tapped, and the warp cost is 4. What's your question, Fuzi? Um, I love that you could go and play this on 4, go and put a free 4-drop in, and draw a card. And then you're able to go and play it 2 turns later. I do like that a lot. I just don't like that it's an Eldrazi. I have no answer for that question for you, Fuzi, because I do not know lore well enough to know how Slivers would have survived the Phyrexian invasion since they're Phyrexian made. If they are Phyrexian, I don't know lore. My lore goes back to Throne of Eldraine. And I don't know any of the backstory for this set, because I think the story for this set was poorly written. It wasn't engaging, it was a hard read for me. Terra Symbiosis. 3-mana enchantment that whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, you may draw that many cards. Do this only once each turn. My question for this, that I just thought of this, you can continue to station after you go and hit the station cost. So if you just need to draw a bunch of cards, you could like station one of your stations after it becomes a creature to add like 5 counters and draw 5. I said that was a question, but that was more of a statement. But yeah, the alternate art is pretty cool as well. I hate the do this only once each turn line of text. I think that line of text is bad and they should remove it. I hate cards that say only once each turn. But yeah, I think this card is very powerful. It's a great card draw. Seed Ship Impact is 2 mana for an instant to destroy target artifact or enchantment. If its mana value is 2 or less, you get to create a lander token. I don't think that this is going to be good enough to see play outside of limited. but I think it's going to be really strong and limited. It might see play like sideboard play in standard. Slivers cannot be completed according to lore. That could be it. Yeah, Fuzi, it's good with Warden of the Grove, but only on your turn for that last for Terra Symbiosis. You're not really triggering on your opponent's turn. I think that's just Terra Symbiosis is just good in green decks in general. Shattered Wings is 3 mana for a sorcery that you destroy target artifact creature with flying or enchantment and surveil one. So just the same broken wings that we get in every set, except it's 1 mana more and a sorcery. Galactic Wayfarer is 3 mana that when it enters create a lander token and it's a 3/3. That's fine for limited. Oh, R. Oboroid. I just butchered that, I know. 4 mana for a plant worm 1/3 that at the beginning of combat on your turn put X +1/+1 counters on each creature you control, where X is this creature's power. This is gonna get dumb fast. Oh my god. Because it says each creature you control, not each other creature. So the turn that you cast this, if you do it pre-combat, it becomes a 2/4. Yeah, with Terra Symbiosis, this would go well. Especially because it does scale well. They are more aggressive with the green cards in the set, I will say. Weapons Manufacturing is 2 mana for an enchantment that whenever a non-token artifact you control enters, create a colorless artifact token named Munitions. With when this token leaves the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target. Yeah. They really want red artifacts and Boros artifacts to be good. And this is making it good. They're gonna want you to sacrifice. This is gonna be like an Arachnos artifact sack deck as well. This is a good card. Simple. I could see it seeing play. It's definitely a good card. I won't play it, but I know other people will, and then they'll make me look stupid. Weft Stalker Ardent, 3 mana. Whenever another creature or artifact you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. And this is the card. This is where they started introducing warp. That it's warp for a single black. You may cast this card from your hand for its warp cost, and exile it at the beginning of the next end step. Then you may cast it for exile on a later turn. Yeah, this card, it's good. 1 mana. It's an impact tremors, and it also triggers on artifacts. So good. Weststalker with that, yeah, I like this. Fuck this card. I'm just gonna say that before I read it. Frenzied Baloth is 2 green for a beast that's a 3/2. It can't be countered, has trample and haste. Creature spells you control can't be countered, and combat damage can't be prevented. I don't care about the 2 toughness. It's a 3/2 for 2. There's no way that this should be a 3/3 for 2 mana. Not with all the keywords on it and all the abilities. It's stupid. It's aggro. And yeah, Fuzi, the meta is going to be hard to remove anyway. Uh, but we're also on a removal heavy meta, and we're not really losing that many removal spells. This is making it that mono green aggro can be a thing. And people are comparing this to Questing Beast because of the trample and haste, and combat damage can't be prevented. It doesn't have vigilance, it doesn't have death touch, it doesn't have any form of evasion. So it's not quite Questing Beast, but yeah, it's gonna be something for mono green to go and be able to play an aggro build instead of trying to do big green. Because right now green hasn't been able to be aggro, which I'm happy with. US Social Engineering for 5 mana enchantment with landfall. Whenever a land you control enters, create a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token, and it has warp for 2. I don't like that they gave this warp. I just don't. It makes no sense. And the landfall, it's really nothing special. Hey, I liked Aether Drift Edwind. But yeah, I don't like this. Rust Harvester is a red mana for a robot that's a 1/1 with menace. And for 2, tap it and exile an artifact card from your graveyard. You get to put a +1/+1 counter on this. Then it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Oh, that's kind of cool. I like this art better. It's a cool card. I could see it being fun. Yet again, I don't know. I'm not going to be the one to build around it, but I could see it being fun. Oh, Void is the key word. That is Revolt. Void Forge Titan, it's 5 mana for a robot warrior that's a 5/4 with Void. At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Most of the Void cards don't trigger until your end step. There are some that trigger before that if they're like a sorcery. They showed a card draw spell that did that. But these are like the Rakdos. These are what's very much in Rakdos. I don't like stuff that only triggers once a turn. And 5 mana for a 5/4 that only draws me a card once a turn and only if it's still on the battlefield doesn't do it for me. But I do like the mechanic. Tragic Trajectory. This is the fatal push. You're thinking of the fatal push. It's a single black mana for a sorcery that gives target creature -2/-2 until end of turn. However, if you have Void, it gets -10/-10 until end of turn. I think this card is also very good. I don't like sorcery speed removal, though. Push was instant speed. I don't like sorcery speed removal. So that's why I'm not in love with this card, but it is very strong, and I could see, like, I'd probably with cut down no longer being in standard, I'd probably play like 2 of this in black. But yeah, probably no more. I don't want to lower my expectations. Time Caller is a 2 black Drix Warlock. Drix is a new creature type, by the way. That's a 2/2 with haste, and you cast this card from your graveyard using its warp ability. Its warp ability is a single black and paying 2 life. What is the 3 mana creature that you could go and pay life to go and escape from? It wasn't escape. It was Blitz. This is what this reminds me of. I like Fire Design. I want them to go and print powerful cards. I want everything to be super powerful all the time. Make everything super powerful and make it that you have to ban on a regular basis. I'm happy with that. I can see why it reminds you of Bloodghast, but it really reminds me more of that 3-mana one that I can't remember the name of. It's from New Capenna, and it's going to kill me, so I'm going to have to look it up so I remember the name of it. It is Black Creature Blitz. Tenacious Underdog. Oh, it's a 2-mana one, not 3-mana. It reminds me of Tenacious Underdog, where you could just go and keep replacing it. Sure, this doesn't give you card draw at the back end, but it does go and give you a body that you can keep going and having out there. That it's either going to go, you flip between 1 and 2 mana to go and cast it. Yeah, that's a downside to it. Tenacious Underdog was a rare. Well, this is an uncommon, so that makes sense. If this was a rare, this probably would draw cards. Yeah. The thing is with Bloodghast, you have to go and make sure you hit your land drops for that to keep coming out. Yeah, I think this card is just going to be so good. I'm really excited for it. Uh, Insatiable Skittermaw is 3 mana for Black Insect Horror. That's a 2/2 with Menace. And has Void that at the beginning of your end step, non-land permanent, yada yada yada. It gets a +1/+1 counter. So it grows. Good limited card. A Menace creature that grows doesn't really have a place anywhere else. Especially when it can only grow once a turn. But a good limited card. Sunset Saboteur is a 2-mana human rogue that's a 4/1 with Menace, has Ward of discard a card, and whenever it attacks, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature an opponent controls. I hate this card. Then the reason why I hate this card is because it's making it that I have to make sure that I have removal to make it that the +1/+1 counters end up not mattering. Like this card screams that it wants to be an aggro card, but once you're going and puffing your opponent's stuff, you're not an aggro anymore. You're and I just don't want to go and play this. It has to be in removal deck. Because if it's not in removal deck, it's not doing anything and it's becoming a problem. Don't make me balance my stuff. Red Tiger Mechan is a 4-mana robot cat that's a 3/3 with haste and warp 2. Okay, it's a vanilla haster. But you can cut it down because it's a 4/1. You just cut it down and discard. You just can't cut it down in standard because standard is going to rotate. I could see why you hate Warp here. Most of these, this card screams that they don't want to print vanilla cards anymore. So let's just go and throw the new keyword ability on a vanilla common to make it that it does something else. Yeah, it's a 3/3 for haste for 2 mana, but that's only for 1 turn. Then it gets exiled, and then you have to spend 4 to go and bring it back as a 3/3 with haste. I just don't like the design of the card. It seems like low fruit. Yeah, but it doesn't have trample or evasion or anything. It's just as a 3/3 with haste. It's nothing special. Nova Hellkite is 5 mana for a flying haste dragon. That's a 4/5 that when it enters, it deals 1 damage to target creature and opponent controls. Has warp of 3. Okay. A 3-mana 4/5 with Flying and Haste. This one's better. It's 3 mana for a 4/5 with Flying and Haste, and it can act if someone has a 1 toughness creature, it acts as removal. Still, I don't think it's good. Like, this is better, but I don't think it's good. Okay. I'm not really worried about that with where Red's position. I don't see that being a problem. LG Acolyte is 4 mana for a mono black human cleric that's a 4/4 with lifelink. Then, whenever one or more creatures that you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. And Void at the beginning of your end step, if it left the battlefield, yada yada yada, you get a 2/2 colorless robot artifact creature token. When they previewed this card, I really liked it. Because I'm like, oh yeah, it's another card draw. This could replace Gix. I'm like, sure, it's 1 more mana, but it replaces Gix. And then I read that it's only 1 or more creatures, so this is only ever drawing you 1 card. And so 4 mana 4/4, I don't think it lines up well enough in the curve to make this playable. Is the alt art just no, then this is the alt art. Yeah, I just don't think it lines up well enough to make it a playable card. Yeah, it's or if this was Gix's line of text, that it was whenever a creature you control, so that way you're drawing 2, 3, 4 cards on combat instead of just 1, it'd be better. This only being a 4/4 with lifelink and making a robot doesn't do enough. And the fact that Void only triggers on your end step also makes it not do enough. I wish I liked it more. Cav Landseeker is a 4 mana Kavu soldier that's a 4/3 with menace. And when it enters, it creates a lander token. Filler limited card. Decode Transmissions is 3 mana for you draw 2 cards and lose 2 life. But it has the Void ability where instead of you going and losing 2 life, each opponent loses 2 life. It's a limited card. It's not gonna. It's 3 mana to draw 2. Isn't really somewhere that you're gonna be anymore, especially at sorcery speed. It's a limited card. Like, you're not playing at other places. If it was an instant, I would say that this was gonna go and be a standard playable card. But at sorcery, it's just meh. Which really, like, here's say I don't like stock up because you have to tap out. Because stock up is a sorcery. So I'm not gonna like decode transmissions. And I know I'm crazy for not liking stock up. But I don't want to tap out on my turn. Especially on turn 3. Like, turn 3 is such a pivotal turn to have a tap out card. Arch Enemy's Charm. It's 3 black for an instant where you choose 1. Exile target creature or planeswalker. Return 1 or 2 target creature and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard to your hand. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature you control. It gains lifelink until end of turn. I think this card is very good. I would have liked Archfiend Charm better as a name. So the 3 black is heavy investment, but when you're looking at exile removal spells, Exile removal spells have the typical cost of being 4 mana. So getting it reduced down to 3 is really good, even though it is harder to cast because most of them are either 2 and 2 black or 3 and a black. Most of them don't have 3 pips in it. But then having the ability to go and return cards back from your graveyard to your hand, as or go and grow your creatures and give them like grow a creature and give it lifelink, I really like the flexibility. I like these kinds of spells. I like exile removal. In Commander, I play 4 mana exile removal. I still play the end in standard, even though I probably shouldn't be playing the end in standard, but I like it because I like exile removal. And sure, this isn't the end because it doesn't go and remove stuff from the person's library and everything. It doesn't surgical distraction, but it's still a card that I really like. I like this design. Come on, show it. And this art's cool too. The hand looks a little weird, but yeah, this art's cool too. Starfield Vocalist is 4 mana for a mono blue human bard. That's a 3/4. If a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, it triggers an additional time and it has warp of 2. So it's just a Panharmonicon on a mono blue card. Phyrexian mana would have been sick here, say, but I don't think we're getting Phyrexian mana again anytime soon. I I understand why this card's exciting because of what it does, but really? It's just a Panharmonicon. Now, it will be fun to go and pair this with the Y'shtola and go and have multiple end stuff. Wait, what's this card? I hate this art so much. I hope I don't open it. I'm not a fan of anime inspired art. Torpor Orb is going to hit hard. Starbreach Whale is 5 mana for a flying whale. That's a 3/5. When it enters, you surveil 2 and warp 2. You know, that's actually 2 mana for a 3/5 with surveil. I wish there was a way. Well, actually, I guess you could technically warp at instant speed if you gave it flash. But I wish that warp could be done at instant speed because this would be a great flash blocker. And it's a flying whale. I don't think there's a country on its back now. I like things that give card advantage when they enter, but yet again, this is a limited filler card. Quantum Riddler. It's 5 mana for a Sphinx that's a 4/6. Has flying. When it enters, you draw a card. As long as you have 1 or fewer cards in hand, if you draw 1 or more cards, you draw that many cards plus 1 instead. And it has Warp 2. This has the interesting ability with wheels. That if you wheel with this card, you get to go and draw 8 instead of draw 7 because technically your hand is empty. If this was in a different color, I would like the card more. Because typically in blue, you're not being empty handed. However, this is a 2 mana draw card on the low end and a 2 mana draw 2 cards on the high end. So, is this coming to standard? Yeah, the Quantum Riddler's coming to standard. Or Torpor Orb. I just I find it very rare that in a blue deck that I am empty-handed. Oh, probably not. Hearsay, that would make a lot of these warp cards more appealing, for sure. Oops. Scroll down on accident. I Oh, Orb is already in standard? Oops. Oh yeah, it was on the bonus sheet for Outlaws. It was in the from the vault. Or whatever it was called. I forgot about that until you just said it. This card seemed I'm so torn on it. Someone's gonna prove me wrong with that card. Mechanozoa is 6 mana for a robot jellyfish that's a 5/5. When it enters, you tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and it gets a stun counter. And for 3 mana, you can warp it. Big score. There we go. Yeah, that's the name of that bonus sheet. Limited card. Too expensive to be anywhere else. This is the bundle promo, but it is in standard as well. Emissary Escort is a 2 mana robot soldier that's a 0/4. It gets plus X plus 0, where X is the greatest mana value among other artifacts control. I can't stand the fact that this is a rare. I don't care how big you're going to go and make a creature in its power. If you're not giving it some sort of evasion, might as well be a bulk common. Yeah, but it doesn't have trample or evasion or anything. It's not like chump with a 1/1. It's not good. Like, this card is just so bad. Give it manage. Give it menace, which probably would have given menace. Give it flying. Like, if this was a flying robot, I would be so down for this. It would be fantastic. But with it not having any type of evasion, it's just bad. Like, make this a 3 mana flyer that's a 0/3. Starfield Shepherd is a 5 mana 3/2 angel. Has flying. When it enters, you search your library for a basic plains card or a creature card with mana value 1 or less. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. And you warp it for 2 mana. This is actually really good. Like, ignore the 5 mana. I will never want to cast this from exile unless I have to. It's a 2 mana, get a 1-drop. In standard, I don't know, or it's 2 mana, either get a 1-drop or a basic plains. Like I was gonna say, I don't know what you'd want to get for this in 60 card formats. I don't think there's any like 1 mana cards you want to get for this. Like you want to go and make sure you have on like turn 3. I can't think of anything for that. But in EDH, this goes and gets you your Esper Sentinel because it's just mana value 1. It's not like so it's not like generic mana. If there was a 1-drop in the set that you had to have for your deck to be functional, I would agree with you. I mean, I would say that it was playable in 60 card, but most decks don't have that where a 1-drop is that important. But like in EDH, getting your Esper Sentinel is fantastic, and it's 2 mana. Or you just make sure, or it acts as a basic plane cycler. I really like this. I'm not getting my Soul Ring. No, you can't get your soul ring. It says creature, didn't it? Let me go and look. Do, 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 do. Oh, let's say creature. Good. I had already closed it, so I'd have had to pull it back up. Starfire Pilot's a 2 mana. When it becomes tapped, you surveil 1. If this is a human pilot, why don't they? Why doesn't it have the pilot text that it could crew with its power? Oh, with its power being +2, it could crew as if its power is 2 more. That's a flavor fail for me. I'm looking for that white card. Yeah, I did double check. It definitely is creature. Yeah, but then don't make the card a pilot. Just make it a human or a human soldier. Don't make it a pilot if it's not going to have the pilot ability. It's stupid. Halaya, Guided by Light, is a 3 mana human soldier. It's a legendary human soldier. For a 3/3, when it or another creature or artifact you control enters, you gain 1 life. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card if you've gained 3 or more life this turn. And you can warp it for 1. Warping it for 1 doesn't do anything if you don't have haste. Later game, maybe. I don't. Card advantage is great. I just don't see where I would personally want to play it. 3 life. It's artifact or creature enters. Yeah, so. But what are you? And it's only on your end step. It's not each end step, which is also a problem I have with it. What are you going and doing to make sure that each and every end step you're getting 3 life? Unless you're building, sure you can build a life gain deck, but I think they're better life gain cards than this that you'd want to drop. So I'm not really sure where this is worth it. I do like all these arts that they made for him though. Like this alternate art, I really like a lot. It if it had lifelink, I would like it a lot more. Lifelink would turn around my opinion on it completely. There might be Darth, but I don't remember. Exalted Sunborn is a 5 mana angel wizard that's flying and lifelink for a 4/5. That if one or more tokens would be created under control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead, and you can warp it for 2. Like, I don't understand warping it here. Like, I don't understand the benefit of warping this. Like, some of the cards that they gave warp to just don't make any sense. And if I'm playing stuff that, like, more token doublers are always cool for the people that love tokens for Commander. But, like, in Standard, if I'm playing token doublers, I'm going and playing Elspeth, right? Yeah, our Elspeth's the one that's doubling tokens in Standard right now. Or is it something else? What is it? Am I right? I don't play with it enough to remember. But yeah, I'm not playing this card. I'm playing the Planeswalker. I'm not playing Exalted Sunborn. And it reminds me of, like, O'Hare Talk, which saw no play. Actually, none of the O'Hares really saw. Or Mondrak. That's what I was saying. I was thinking Mondrak. Mondrak does standing play. Emergency Eject is a 3-mana instant where you destroy target non-land permanent. Its controller creates a lander token. It's kind of expensive, but it is any non-land permanent, but it does ramp your opponent. Yeah, I don't like it because it ramps your opponent. Banishing Light is just Banishing Light. A Stelly Reclaimer is 5 mana, flying. When it enters, return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this creature. Now, see, I like that this one has warp because it's 3 mana. You could go and warp something for 3 or less, or it's 5 mana and you return something with 5 or less. You can't blink it because it does nothing other than gets you a 0-drop if you're playing any type of Cheerios. It's a significantly worse Sun Titan. But I do like it still. Like, I still think that this card is really good. And then Terminal Velocity is the last standard card. You put an artifact. It's 6 mana for a sorcery that you may put an artifact or creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. It gains haste, and when it leaves the battlefield, it deals damage equal to its mana value to each creature. And at the beginning of your end step, sacrifices permanent. Yo, this is a commander card. Like, I don't. Like, where are you playing this in standard? You're not. It's funny, but it's a commander card. Now these are the commander. These are actually the face cards for the commander decks. In Spirit Flagship Vessel is Jeskai. Has station, and it's one of the ones that has 2 station abilities. The first is for 1+ at the beginning of combat on your turn. You can either put a charge counter or either put a +1/+1 counter or 2 charge counters on up to 1 other target artifact, so it can't station itself. But to go for its last ability, it's 8 and flying. Other artifacts you control have hexproof and indestructible, and it's a 5/5. I just don't like stations, but I could see this one being a good card because it's very easy to get to that 1 and start building up and crewing your other stations. And then Hearthhold the World Sea is the Jund one that for 2, getting up to station 2, 1 and tapping, you sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards, and you may play an additional land. And then for 8, it has Flying, Vigilance, Haste, and whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. People in the chat were comparing this to Lord Windgrace, and I can see why. If you have a way to keep untapping it, I could go and see this going like pseudo pseudo infinite with just like all your land drops and just draw through your entire deck, but you'd have to be able to keep untapping it. I would never play the card because I don't like lands. I just think the space station's kind of like, I don't like the way that they work. Um, Let me go and do something else because I just realized when I was looking at everything, I forgot to go and pull up the bonus sheets because there are special guests and there are the lands. They did say that they wanted to try to go and do they did want to try to put Urborg in there, but they realized that they couldn't put Urborg in there because of naming. And there's special guests, but I think only one special guest, no, two special guests have been previewed. Let's do this. So the two special guests, the first one is Magus of the Moon. Sure, cool. If you like it, you like it. I don't really think Magus of the Moon is anything I care about. Here's the other special guest. Sliver Overlord is the other one they previewed. This is another one that I don't care about, but I like that they put a valuable card in the special guest slot because even with it being reprinted in a secret lair, that this is still a $50 card. It does nothing for me because I don't care about slivers. Lands, we have Blinkmoth Nexus. And for all of them, they have two versions. What's the difference between these two? Oh, these also come in Galaxy Foil, and that's the difference. So there's this art, and then there's also this art as well, but they come in both normal and Galaxy Foil. Why were you looking up tweezers? Celestial Colonnade. Not another one I'm not really too excited for. These Eldrazi Temple arts, though, I really like them a lot. Gemstone Caverns. I'm super excited for Gemstone Caverns. It is a commander card, sure. Okay, yeah, I understand now. Um, it's a commander card. It's another valuable card. They yet again the cheapest printing is $50. Uh, really like it a lot. It's a good reprint. High market. The art's cool. I like this art more. Always good to get a reprint of Mana Confluence. It's a $30 card, so it's always good to have it reprinted. Both arts are fantastic. I don't know if Gemstone Caverns was modern legal or not, Darth, because I don't play modern. I think modern is a bad format. Nesting Grounds, I don't play counters, so I don't care about it. I can see where you got the second art for High Market Soon Coruscant too, Darth. It kind of did look like that. I like both the Mana Confluences, Fuzzy. Yeah, and when it comes to modern, the reason why I don't enjoy it is I never really got to play it, but when I first decided, I was like, hey, I think I might want to try modern. It was Pro Tour Lord of the Rings. And it was the first time I actually watched modern being played. And seeing that game one didn't matter. Game one was all based off the matchup. And then game two is where it really actually started. So if you had a bad matchup game 1, you were guaranteed to go 0-1. And it was like a quick 0-1. It was like turn 3-0-1. And I just don't enjoy that kind of magic. And the last card for today was Thespian Stage. They had mentioned that they wanted to try to make Dark Depths work as well, but with Merit Lage being named on the card, they couldn't make Dark Depths work either. But yeah, these are all the cards that were previewed today. So yeah, I'm excited for it.